Alright, next we're going to look at class exercise 2 for gaseous states. Okay, so again, it's back to the ideal gas equation. So we have 0.40 moles of hydrogen chloride measured at 300 Kelvin. So various pressure were applied. So these are the values for the real gas, in this case hydrogen chloride. So don't doubt the values, they are being measured. Okay, so the pressure apply, and then that's the volume you're going to get. So basically you get the following results. I think there are some blanks here, so later on you might need to go and punch your calculator and calculate them, but if you wish to, you can calculate first. Okay, so just multiply the two together. This you should get 9.26 times 10 to the power of 5, and the other one you should get 8.88 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, part A asks how the value of PV should change with pressure for an ideal gas. So again, this is not related to the table. So if you look at the ideal gas equation, PV equals to nRT, you notice that for a fixed mass of gas, the N is fixed, the R is fixed, and for a constant temperature, T is also fixed. So therefore, PV equals constant. Yeah, so what this trying to say is that if I'm going to change my pressure, so for example, if I increase pressure, the volume will decrease by the same proportion to keep the overall value or the multiplication of P and V a constant. So the answer to this, it should be a constant. Okay, you should not be looking at the trend even given here, because here the trend seems to implies that as P increase, PV decreases, right? Yeah, but you shouldn't be looking at the trend here, because for part A they're asking for real gas, so you have to be very specific. You have to be very sharp and know what they're trying to ask you. Okay, for part B, calculate the volume of 0.4 moles of an ideal gas at a temperature of this and the pressure of this. Okay, so you are given a certain pressure, a certain temperature, and the number of moles of the ideal gas. So this is for ideal gas. Okay, so all you need to do is just to punch the calculators. Okay, so I will not go into detail. So PV equals nRT, so you just calculate. You're going to get V is equals to 8.31 times 10 to the power of minus 4 cubic meter. Okay, so take note of this value. This is for ideal gas. Okay, so for ideal gas. Yep, if you wish to do the conversion, you can convert it to dm3. I mean, if you wish. If not, you can just keep it to be 8.31 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, right. Next, completes the third column. We've done that earlier on. And then use the value of PV to estimate. Okay, so this question tends to make students a bit confused, because they thought that estimate means anyhow. It's not really anyhow. You need to have some basis for your estimation. Yeah, so you need to base it on something. They want you to calculate the value of V when P is this. You notice that we're looking at the same P here. So you are probably going to expect the values to be a little bit different, and based on the difference, they might want to ask you why is that difference. I mean, that's usually how the thought processes of a question will flow. Okay, so it might be helpful if we take two extreme values, because we're supposed to estimate. So we assume that the values for PV decrease is a decreasing gradient graph, if you think of it. So we're looking at two extreme, 5.0 and 9.62 times 10 to the power 5, that's for PV, and pressure 15, and then 8.88 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, so we probably wants to expect this graph. So so we are really looking at something like this. So PV against P, we're looking at maybe a few points. Okay, let's see. 5. Okay, so that is 10 to the power 5. So that's 5.0, 10.0, 15.0. So we are assuming that it is a linear line. Okay, decreasing gradient. Okay, so now we are trying to find out if I'm going to put 12 in. Okay, 12 will be somewhere here. Yeah, so what will be the value of PV? Okay, yeah, so that should be relatively straightforward. I mean, it's not like rocket science, but yeah. So if you do that, you should be able to get an estimate of the value for PV, as well as for volume. Okay, so I'll leave the calculation to you. This is the thought process. You should be getting a volume of about 7.59 times 10 to the power of minus 4 cubic meter, or if you leave it in dm cube, that would be 0.759 dm cube. Okay, can your value will be a bit different if you use a different segment of the graph. So do not be too alarmed if your final answer is a little bit different, but it won't be too different. I mean, if your answer is like 0.6 something, then it's really quite different. But if your answer is like 0.74 something or 0.76 something, I think that's still fine. Okay, so you'll notice that this value is lower than that of the ideal gas equation, right? The one you use the ideal gas equation to solve. So naturally, you're going to expect the next part, right? Suggest an explanation for the difference in the values of V you have obtained in B and C, and in terms of the properties of hydrogen chloride molecules. So why is there a difference? Okay, so first of all, right, we made an assumption for ideal gas, right, that negligible intermolecular forces of attraction exist between gas particles. That is one of our assumptions, right? Yeah, but in the case of real gas such as hydrogen chloride, there exists significant PD and dispersion forces. So that significant PD and dispersion forces will cause the real gas to deviate from ideality, right? So that's what you learn in your lecture notes. That's the two assumptions of ideal gas. And if we are talking about real gas, you are expecting significant ID or dispersion forces, as well as PD between the hydrogen chloride molecules. So this significant intermolecular forces of attraction will cause them to deviate from ideality. Why does it deviate to give you a smaller value? Because they are attracted closer to each other. Yeah. So therefore, when the actual volume is being measured, it is a little bit lower than expected. Yeah. So that is how you should position your answer. You should not position your answer by saying that, oh, they collide onto the wall with a smaller force, because in our case here, we are measuring the volume when we fix the P. So you have to be very clear what you're dealing with. Yeah, so do not answer it from the wrong angle. Okay, can. So that would be part D. Shouldn't be too difficult. Make sure that whenever you answer it, you are looking at you are able to link it back to the assumption you made for ideal gas. Okay, yeah, so with that, we will move on to question 2. Question 2 is a modified questions from RI. It was an MCQ, but it was modified to make it look complicated, but it's not that complicated. Yeah, I mean, you are given different volumes, pressure, temperature, and then the question asks you, okay, I have P and Q maintained at different pressure, different temperature. So when I open the tap, the gas mixes, what is the final pressure? Okay, if both bulbs are maintained at 9 degrees Celsius, so the final temperature is also different. And then you are assuming that this portion has negligible volume. Okay, so this portion has negligible volume, which is fine actually. I mean, doesn't really matter here. Okay, so some students will find that solving this is quite complicated. Okay, because it looks complicated. Yeah, but remember this: when we deal with situation like this kind of question, we need to remember the overarching principle of physical science, the conservation of mass. Yeah, so whatever you are doing, right, the mass must conserve. So that is what we call material conservation. So that means that the number of moles of particles in P plus the number of moles of particles in Q, right, is equals to the final number of moles, which is N total. That is something we need to be confident about. If we cannot understand this, you can't solve the problem. Don't memorize any formula, because any formula you try to memorize, you will just go away if you don't understand it, of course. Okay, now remember the ideal gas equation. PV equals to nRT, right? So if you swing them around, N is equals to PV over RT, right? Okay, so over here, I'm just going to dump everything in. Okay, so that is PPVP over RT, then P, right? Plus PQ VQ over RTQ. Okay, then equals to P final V final over RT final. Okay, so what we can do now is to cancel off the R term. Okay, so that leaves us with things like P1 V1 over T1 plus P2 V2 over T2 is equals to P final V final over T final. So if you memorize, that's what you get. But if you understand the principle behind it, you end up with this, right? The same conclusion you're gonna make eventually. Okay, then what we're gonna do now is just to sub in everything, right? So PP will be what, 10 to the power of 10 times 10 to the power of 3, okay, multiplied by 100 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 6 over 127 plus 273, okay, then plus PQ, that will be 20 times 10 to the power of 3 times 300 times 10 to the power of minus 6 over 27 plus 273, okay, equals to the same thing. Supposed to find P final, right? So P final multiplied by total volume will be 400. Okay, so 400 times 10 to the power minus 6, okay, over 90 plus 273. You realize that now everything seems a lot easier, because now I can cancel the 10 to the power minus 6. I can even cancel this, right? So that the terms are a lot easier. Okay, then and that's it. Yeah, then I can easily solve. So I solve for P final. For P final, I should be getting 20.4 kilopascal. Okay, so if you have done it correctly, you should get this answer. Right, so if you have not done it correctly, can you try it again? If you wish to, you can actually change the pressure, the volume, the temperature to different random terms, and then after that you put them together, and then you just perform your own calculation and verify your answer. Yeah, you can easily do that at your own leisure. Shouldn't take up too much time, but don't overdo it. Yeah, make sure you understand the concept before you attempt to work on the problems, and don't memorize formula unnecessarily. Okay, so with that we come to the end of the review for exercise 2 for gaseous states.